Hello and welcome to a new episode of Experiencing Infdev Plus. In this episode, I would like to do some more building and exploring to get some advancements. Anyway, I've already done some work in between the episodes in that area. I have made a area for like bounty boards or quest boards or whatever you call it, where I basically placed out some slides with like potential projects that I could work on. I've already started digging out this area even before the last episode. However, it was only like after the last episode that I've opened it up and added like wood and signs. Anyway, it still isn't finished. There are a few things that I would like to do. Firstly, get rid of this mound of stone over here and make it look better, since I feel it's out of place now that I've expanded my house so much. And the second thing that I would like to do is over here with this wall of stone. I'm thinking of getting rid of the sort of cobblestone like this and opening it up so that I have a balcony over here and I can just look around from here. I think that would be cool. Anyway, I'm gonna do that off camera. The reason why I didn't do it before is because I just wanted to show you that so I can show you how it looks now, so that you can see the comparison once I'm finished. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this and then move on to the other project that I want to work on. Now then, as you can see, I have done some work on this area. I have opened this area up so that I can walk onto this balcony of sorts and look around. I think it looks nice. Anyway, as you can see, this thing is still unfinished. However, I won't continue working on it for now, since I don't really know fully what I want to do with it. I've got these bounty boards / quest boards over here. However, I'm not sure if I'm not sure how far I want them to extend. Anyway, the second thing that I've done, as I've said, is I've got rid of this mound of stone and dirt that was over here. And while I was at it, I've also done some other things, modified some things, added some glass in here, a staircase so that I can get up here, also modified this room next to my bedroom. And we go here. This is how this place looks now. I think it looks better now, and if I look kind of down, it looks like it is just a normal house and not a house with a hill and hill on top of. Anyway, I've also modified the deck here a bit so there's no sort of overhang of cobblestone. Also got this expanded this place now so I can put something here. I'll probably put some chests for storage now. Oh, there. Anyway, I think that is finished for now, so I'm gonna move on to the other thing that I want to do. So I've shown you before, I made the quest boards and I've already placed some things on top of them, and the things that I want to do now are also build some floating islands, which I've already started working on, as you can see over there. I want those floating islands to represent the Astral dimension. So I have got like 8 floating islands to represent the 8 biomes, and the space in the middle is for like the 3 structures, which is the church and the cathedral dungeon, the tower dungeon, and the battleship. I will show you how it looks from the top. Here we are at the top. As you can see from this third bridge, I plan to have sort of bridge that will connect the tower to the floating islands so that I can access them, since I plan to store the dungeon items from the Astral dimension here. This is the extent of work that I've done until now. Just, I wanted to do it off cameras because I needed to like measure things out and such. Also planned to do like a time lapse of me building this, however that will be, I'll show that once I'm done with this. Anyway, I still need to get the building materials. What I was trying to say is that I can't start building yet, since I need to bring some materials in here, so I'm gonna bring them here and then start building. Alright, now that I've got the materials, it is time for me to start building. Also, you can see that some clouds are passing from my build that you couldn't see before because I forgot to turn them on. I'm not sure how I feel about those, but I feel like it should be fine, and also I don't feel like moving it. Anyway, I'm going to start building. First I'm going to place some of the dirt on top of the stone. About it, I feel like I should have probably made the surface with dirt instead of a stone. Then I'm gonna go one higher. Thankfully I've got the magnet so I don't lose any of the blocks. The second circle is going to be smaller, of course. I want these things to be sort of round, but top of the island will be around, sort of like half an ellipsoid or whatever you'd call it. I think 2 layers like this should be enough, be tall enough, since I also will have some trees and stuff on it, and if I decide that it needs a bit more dirt on top, then I can just easily add more, since I can just easily gather more. I also plan to replace the stone with dirt and have the dirt sort of overhang over the stone, which will be slightly indented. Watch out to explain it, you'll see once I get to building the bottom halves of the islands. Anyway, now I'm gonna do the other islands. I don't think I need to show that, so I'm gonna do that off camera. Alright, as you can see, I have finished working on the top halves of the islands, or roughly finished, since I might add some modifications to them so that they don't look so uniform. But for now they are finished, so I'm now going to start working on the bottom halves of the islands. As you can see, I've also added some scaffolding underneath them to help me with it by using some water, kind of like how you would do it in a skyblock. So I'm going to start by placing in some stone in the inside part. And then I'm gonna sort of bring it lower. And now I'm gonna try to bring it a bit lower. My plan is to have my plan for the shape is to have it resemble the bottom of the Skylands biome that is found in the old world. I'll try to place a picture of it in the video if I remember, so you can have a reference. So maybe here a bit lower, maybe a bit on the inside. Here as well. Anyway, I'm gonna continue building and show you what I get. Oh, show you a progress update later. And here is a small progress update to show roughly what I had in mind. As you can see, I'm going for sort of cone shape. I feel like it kind of resembles the floating islands, the sky islands biomes, but less smooth. Oh, I think it looks nice. You look at it using the photo mode. You can kind of get a look at it from like various angles. I think it's turning out well. I'm building it kind of randomly, so there isn't a uniform shape to make it more natural. Of course, the dirt on top now looks kind of weird, but I'm gonna modify it later. For now, I'm gonna continue working on it. As you can see, I've also moved the scaffolding since I couldn't, since it was getting too low. So anyway, I'm gonna continue working on it and show you the finished product, since I'm not very good at building on camera. And here is the finished thing, or at least the finished half, although it's hard to see since it's obscured by the third scaffolding. So I'm gonna use the bottom mode to show it. As you can see, here is the sort of shape that I went for. I think it looks nice, kind of natural, although it's still like slightly unnatural in the way that it's sort of cone shaped. So I'm gonna try to make the other islands a bit more interesting. Also, I accidentally left some cobblestone here, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Anyway, I'm gonna start working on the other islands and show you what I'll build later. Here is a small progress update. I'll show you that for the second floating island, I decided to make an island that has got sort of two tips at the bottom, and for that reason I'm making sort of two ellipses of sort that will grow. That I will make gradually smaller so that there will be more than one tip. We'll see how well it goes. Hopefully it goes well. Anyway, now I'm gonna continue building it. So here is the sort of thing that I had in mind. As you can see, we got two sort of tips here. This one is the other, and you can see you've got a sort of gap in the middle that I won't fill in. It's still unfinished, but I think you can get the picture of it. This one is sort of more finished, but this one will be slightly longer. Also, as you can see, there are some mobs inside, but I'm gonna take care of that later. For now, I'm gonna close it off and continue working on the other islands. And of course, I probably won't be showing as many progress updates later. Anyway, for now, I'm gonna continue working and maybe show you progress updates of once I finished some other islands. Alright, here is a small progress update. As you can see, I've built the bottom halves for 5 of the floating islands. So here they are. Now, looking at them, I feel like they kind of resemble teeth, or at least they remind me of them, since basically the split ones kind of remind me of the molars, and ones that are not split kind of remind me of the premolars, at least the bottom half. But that's not important. Now I'm gonna move on to the 3 other islands. For 2 of the islands I'm gonna use snow and ice, since these represent the snow biomes that are there, and also this island. And once I'm done with those, I'm gonna do some decoration on the bottom of the islands, since the floating islands in the Astral dimensions also have decorations like moss, some vines, and like patches of ice, stone, and dirt. So I'm gonna do those later, which is the reason why I have these dirt pillars still here, so I can carve out some of this stone and replace it later. Anyway, now I'm gonna get back to building and do a progress update later. So now that I've finished the rough structure of the bottom of the islands, it is time for me to start working on decorating them. I'll start with the islands that represent Aurora Forest and Heavenly Plains, since those don't really have any decoration. The only thing that they have are patches of dirt and ice stone. So I'm just going to go around, mine out some of the stone each time and replace it with other blocks. Same with the other island. After that, I'll move on to the Celestial Meadow, Sacred Hills, and the Weeping Bayou biomes, which have got some of the Skylands moss on them, or as it is called, algae, and also glow vines hanging off of them. So I'm gonna add those to all of those, and of course some patches of dirt and ice stone. After that, we've got Frosted Marsh and Mystic Grove, which only have like icicles hanging off of them. And last but not least, we've got the Golden Hills biome, which have got like the clusters and crystals on them as decorations. And I, of course, cannot forget about ores, since they also count as decorations in my eyes. So I went ahead and collected some ores from the Astral dimension, and now I'm gonna place a few of them to decorate the islands a bit more. It won't be noticeable, but I think they are good detail to have. And with that, the decorations are almost complete. I think they turned out kind of well. The reason why I'm saying that they are almost complete and not fully complete is because while doing them, I decided to add some waterfalls to these islands. I'm thinking of adding like 4 waterfalls that will be going off of some of these islands. However, I don't want them to reach all the way to the ground, and the way that I decided to do it is that I will first choose a spot on the islands. Let's say, for example, this one. I could choose this spot, and of course I've got to grab some stone, so I'm gonna grab it quickly. Now that I've got the stone, I'm just gonna replace the cobblestone that's here, so it looks slightly better. Like so. After that, I'm gonna fall down to the place where the water would end up. And fill her up using some sand until I reach the desired height at which I want the water to stop. I think this height should be good. So I'm gonna place down some cobblestone, some glass paints around it. Well, maybe I didn't need to place the cobblestone already, but I'm gonna place it now again. Place it upside down trapdoor, get rid of the cobblestone, go down, get rid of the sand pillar. And lastly, place in the water and let it flow down. Of course, I got to close the trapdoor. It's not really necessary, but I think it will look better. Now we've got some water flowing over the islands. I'm gonna add some more with different lengths, and hopefully it will look good. I think it should. Now that I'm done with the bottom halves of the islands, I'm gonna move on to the top parts. Firstly, I'm going to start with the sides by removing some blocks and maybe placing a few blocks down. That way it's a bit less uniform and it will look better that way. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna move on to the very top of the Sky Islands. I've decided that I won't change the shape since I will have trees and stuff as decoration. I also like tall grass and flowers. Anyway, I'm going to start by placing in the grass blocks. First with the Celestial Meadow, which has got like 3 different colors of grass, so I'm gonna place one grass block in one corner, other color in another one, third one in different one, and then maybe you in the middle. Maybe let's say then so it is here. Our forest, it's purple. Secret Hills, I think that's green, if I recall correctly. Frost Marsh, which is blue. Heavenly Plains, green. And I fell. So, after I filled the platform, I decided to place in the rest of the grass off camera. And now it's time to plant the trees. So I'm gonna start with the Aurora Forest, which will have like tall vile arch tree, a tall vile arch tree. I think that should look good. Maybe I'll take a little bit later and decide how I think it looks and maybe take it down and I'll see. Anyway, for Sacred Hills, I forgot to grab the cherry sapling. For the Frost March, we got the willow tree, the middle. I think it should be good, like this. Or maybe I try it again, maybe I'll get a better shape. So it's kind of strange. Next up are the Heavenly Plains, where I'm just gonna try to get a small vile arch tree. Not this one. That is the one I wanted. And now Mystic Grove, once again. So vile arch tree. Now we've got the Golden Hills. last but not least, weeping bio, which once again got a willow tree. And of course, can't forget about the celestial meadow and the sacred hills, for which I finally grabbed a sapling. Anyway, now that these trees are done, well, I think they're done, I'm gonna decide if I like it this way and also wait for all of these grass to grow. And while I wait for that, I'm gonna gather the scaffolding, since I think I don't need it anymore, at least the lower one. I have decided to take a look at the islands from the top of the tower, and I think they are looking quite good so far. I think the project is turning out quite good so far. Anyway, now that the grass is grown, I'm going to decorate the islands a bit more by placing grass and stuff. However, I'm gonna do it off camera, and once I'm done with that, I'm gonna start working on the structures. Oh, I finished decorating the islands. As you can see, some of the islands have got more decoration than others. For example, this one also has like bush and some water. For this one, I've added also bush, some ice spikes, and I've also replaced the dirt with stone, since the Sacred Hills biome has got a lot of exposed stone. And for this one, I've also added a bush and some ice. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm going to now move on to the structures. For those, I've already prepared some platforms for 2 of these structures. As you can see, the platforms are quite small, well, relatively small, since I don't plan on building like full-size structures. Instead, I'm going to build some models that won't be to scale, of course. I'm going to start by building the tower, for which I'll need the blocks that I've got prepared in my inventory. So I'll just start by placing a cobblestone, which is just temporary, and some huge light brick walls. After that, we got the ice stone stairs. Then some walls again. Stairs once again. And after it, some slabs with walls in the corner. Then ice stone stairs once again. Ice stone bricks here, slab here. Make a pillar and a line pin here just so there's a life source inside, and here is the tower complete. As you can see, it's quite simple, however I think it resembles the tower dungeon well enough. Anyway, now I'm going to move on to the cathedral, or for that I will need to gather some materials first. So, now that I've finished collecting the materials, it is time for me to start building. Once again, I've prepared all of the materials that I'll need. Anyway, firstly, there's the red cloth, which represents the carpet. Now, undulated bricks for the front wall. So, then the side walls. Once I've got the side walls, I'll add the 2 side towers. Each of them is 4 blocks tall with the roof made of stair blocks. Next up is the roof, for which I will use cobalt angelite and cobalt angelite slabs. So add a bit of overhang to the front. Next up, some colored windows. Let's see, blue in the back, yellow in the front, and slab to the entrance. Yeah, one more thing that I forgot to do is place in some light inside, and we're done. Here is the model of the cathedral that I designed. Oh, one more thing. The pillars. I forgot about the pillars, so I'm gonna add those. Oh, once again, here is the model of the cathedral. As you can see, I've taken a bit of artistic liberties when designing it, but I think it's good. So now I'm gonna collect materials for the airship and build it, and then move on to other things. And now it is time to build the ship, which has got a slightly more complicated design compared to the other two structures. And with this, the structures are complete. Now there is only one more thing to do, or well, two more things to do. The first being connecting all of these islands together, since I want to actually use this and not just have it for decoration. I plan to have like the dungeon chests, well, a dungeon chest on each of the floating islands, and in those chests will be the things from the Astral dungeons. And of course I also need to connect these islands to the tower. So the two things that I need to do is build like some bridges between these islands and then bring all of these things here, and of course clean things up. So however, before I do that, I need to gather materials for building, and also I'm gonna get rid of the scaffolding since I won't need it. Well, except this one, since I use it for taking pictures for the Timelapse. So for the bridges, I have decided to use the old reliable, which is all wood. So to connect the islands, I decided to just make simple two wide bridges does something like this. I think particularly interesting. Anyway, here are the bridges. As you can see, I decided to finish them off camera because I felt like it wasn't all that interesting. Anyway, now that it is finished, I'm going to now move on to the main bridge. Originally, I was planning to make it out of oak wood and have it being held up by some balloons. However, I decided to change my mind, and instead I'm going to build a bridge which is going to be supported by pillars which will be on top of clouds. I think that will be interesting. Anyway, the design I've gone for is sort of modern looking, but I think it should be fine. Anyway, I'm going to start by placing in some pillars and then place in some maple planks, since that will be the part that I will walk on. Next up, I'm going to start building the support pillars, for which first I'm going to use some angelite bricks. After that, some bricks, and then have the pillar spread into two, sort of like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And then add a decoration in the middle, sort of. And once I do that, I end up with this sort of shape, as you can see here, to which I just need to add some more detail. And when I do that, I end up with a pillar that looks like this. Here you can see it using photo mode. And now I just need to copy this thing 4 times, since I want to have 4 pillars. So I went ahead and did exactly that. We take a look at it using photo mode. You can see I have built the 4 pillars. And I also decided to extend those pillars since I felt that they weren't long enough. Another thing that I did is that I installed a guard on the sides, that way people don't fall off, and also use these stairs under which I've placed glowstone as lighting, since light passes through stairs. Anyway, with that, there are only 2 things that I want to do with this bridge. The first being that I'm gonna put in some of these angelite pillars to connect the supporting pillars, sort of like this. Well, if it was real life, it wouldn't really add anything to the structural integrity, but I think it makes this look better. And the second thing remaining for me to do is to make the clouds upon which the bridge will stand on, since, as I've said, I plan for this bridge to stand on some clouds, since I feel like it's very interesting and kind of whimsical. Also, I'll have some sort of angelite bricks sort of down here, so that like gradually disappear. The pillar sort of gradually disappears into the cloud. Anyway, I'm gonna try to build those and show you the result. And now the clouds, or rather cloud, are finished. I'll use the photo mode to show you what sort of shape did I decide to go for. So here it is. I think it looks big enough to be able to support the bridge. And with this, the project is basically finished. The only thing that I now need to do is gather the dirt and transport the materials. So I'm gonna do that, and once I'm finished, I'm gonna show you the finished product. And with that, the project is complete. So we're just gonna take a look at the finished product. I think it turned out well. There are probably things I could have done differently if I had spent more time on it, but I think it's good enough. One more thing that I could do with thing is cheat a bit and show you this in creative by flying around. Personally, I think it turned out well. Anyway, now that this is finished, I'm going to now show you the time-lapse as I've promised. Unfortunately, that will be it for this video. I was planning to do a bit more, but it seems that I've overestimated the amount of time that the build would take. So in the end, I've decided that this episode is already long enough, so I will not be going exploring. Instead, I will go exploring in the next episode and try to unlock as many advancements as I can, and maybe if I decide I might also do something else. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.